Hello, good day. A wonderful morning to you, my excellent students. How are you today? I believe you are fine. I'm pretty cool. Today we are here to conclude our discussion on clause analysis. I want to appeal to you to sit down quietly, get your writing material, and let's start the class. In our last class, we examined the part 1 of this topic, and today we'll be concluding everything about the topic. Remember, my name remains Dakpo Urimoloye. Our learning objectives for this class includes the following. Number 1, you should be able to recall all that was taught about clause analysis in the last class. Should to record that. Number 2, should be able to state the 3 types of clauses, which are adverbial, adjective, and the noun. And lastly, should be able to state their function. We'll be dwelling much on their functions today, so you should be able to state their functions. And the least but not the last, but be able to identify different clauses easily in sentences. You should be able to identify them easily in sentences. Yes, let's go to the correction of our last assignment before we go into this topic fully. The last class I asked you to state the grammatical name of the following sentences. State their grammatical name. Did you believe that the man was guilty? That the man was guilty is the expression there that we need to state what kind of name, that the man was guilty. And from all understanding, the answer is noun clause. It's noun clause because it is acting as object of the verb believed. Number 2, come when you like. When you like is the expression which states the name. When you like is surely coming after the verb. And it's a modifier, modifying the verb, telling you time, the time to come. And this is when you like. So definitely it's an adverbial clause, an adverbial clause, an adverb clause. Number 3, I know the girl who won the prize. Who won the prize is the expression to state the name. And from all indication, this is coming after girl. Definitely qualifying the girl, telling which kind of girl, which of the girls, the one who won the prize. So that is nothing but an adjectival clause. It's an adjective or adjectival clause. Number 4, he confessed that he was guilty. That he was guilty is the underlined expression. And just like number 1, you can see it's coming after the verb. Coming after the verb, not modifying the verb, but telling you about the verb. It's as simple as a noun clause. When we come to the function of a noun clause, we'll know about this. Number 5, I know you have great regard for him. I know you have great regard for him. You have great regard for him is underlined, and just like the previous one, coming after know, telling you about what the action entails, which makes it a noun clause. Do you think that I'm a fool? Do you think that I'm a fool? That I'm a fool here is underlined, and that is a noun clause coming after the verb thing. And lastly, before I die, I want to see Venice. Before I die is underlined, and that is telling you time. Before I die, what should happen before I die? And definitely this is an adverbial clause or an adverb clause. That serves as a correction to our last assignment. Then let's do a brief revision of what we did last class. Last class I discussed clause with the class. I said a clause is a group of words containing a subject and a predicate, and it can function as part of a sentence or as a sentence on its own. I said it can function as part of a sentence or as a sentence on its own. That was when I made a broad division between a subordinate clause, between this and this. I made a distinction between when it is subordinate. I said it means it cannot stand on its own. It has to be attached to a main clause to make meaning. But when it is a main clause, I said when it's a main clause, it can stand on its own meaningfully. I told you that all main clauses are referred to as simple sentences. All main clauses are simple sentences. Yeah, let's dwell on the first type of clause for the day. Before I go deep into this, let me tell you that all this type of clauses for today, they are under the subordinate clause, because we are tested on the subordinate clause during exams, and there are three in number: the adjectival, the adverbial, and the noun clause. So today let's come to the adjectival clause for today. I said an adjectival clause is a clause that performs the function of an adjective. It performs the function of an adjective. What does an adjective do? It will modify, it modifies or qualifies. An adjective qualifies or modifies a noun or a pronoun. Let's see this. The book that is on the table is mine. When we remove this, what I've circled, let's say we remove this, we can say the book is mine. Good. But we don't know the kind of book in reference. But with this, you know it is that book on the table. So this is an adjectival clause that is qualifying or modifying the noun book. And for all adjectival clauses, mostly 95% of them starts with relative pronouns or relative adverbs. They start with relative pronouns or adverbs. And in short, we call relative pronouns WH pronouns. Don't forget that. We call them WH pronouns. All relative pronouns are WH pronouns. And you can see them here. We have who, we have whom, whose, that. Then for animals, we use which and whose to refer to animals and things. Then for the functions now, for the functions of an adjectival clause, let me say this before I proceed. Most times, an adjectival clause will always follow the noun or pronoun it is modifying or qualifying. Listen good and quote me later. Most times, 95% cases, an adjectival clause follows the noun or pronoun it is modifying. See the noun here. Let's see the noun here. This is the noun here. The noun is here also. The noun is here also. This is the noun. The noun is here. You can see all my adjectival clauses here. They are coming immediately after the noun. Thus, it is very easy to know. The moment you see a noun before it, and the next expression is underlined, look at it critically. There is a 95% chance that it is an adjectival clause. Let me come again. when you have the underlying expression like we have here, and the last thing before the underlying expression is a noun, the last thing before the underlying expression is a noun, there's a 95% chance that it is an adjectival clause, like we have here. Harry Potter is the boy who lived in the cage. The boy here is a noun. This is qualifying the boy, telling us the kind of boy. Which boy? The one that lives in the cage. The map here is the noun. This expression is an adjectival clause or adjective clause qualifying the noun or noun phrase map. See the map here. Which map? The one you sent me last week. And let me say one thing about most adjectival clauses. I'll say that at the end of this section. Let me not say it now, so that I don't bombard you with too much information. Then the cookies. Which cookies? Which I promptly devoured. Telling you about the kind of cookies. That is, this expression is qualifying the noun cookies. Telling you the kind of cookies. Then the book. Which book? That you ordered through the interlibrary loan. This is a noun that has been qualified by this adjectival expression, telling you the kind of book. And lastly, the neighbor, whose partners who you ran over with a lawnmower called the cops on you. This is the noun, neighbor. Then this is the adjectival expression telling you which of the neighbors. Definitely, we might have more than one neighbor. Have 3, 4 neighbors, but with this expression, you know which of them. So like I said, an adjectival clause will perform the function of an adjective, which is to modify or qualify a noun or a pronoun. And in 100% cases, when the adjectival clause is removed from the expression is still meaningful, though not detailed enough. Let me come again. I said when the adjectival clause is removed from the expression is still meaningful grammatically, but not detailed again. Let's see what I mean by what I'm saying. Let's say this. Let me give you a clue into what I'm saying. Let's remove this. Let's remove the adjective expression. Let's remove this also. Let's circle this out. Let's circle this out also. I'm sure you're following me. Let's circle this out also. Please pay attention. Let's circle this out also. Yeah, let's go together and read the leftover expression. In number 1, I will tell you, Harry Potter is a boy. Harry Potter is a boy is okay grammatically, though not with details. This is the added detail. Then, the map seems outdated. Mind you, we've removed this. The map seems outdated is grammatically meaningful, but the details has been skipped. And the details is this expression. So, more or less, in short, what adjective clause will do is to add more details to your nouns. Let's go on now to adverbia. When an expression is adverbial, it is acting the role of an adverb. That is, it gives information about the following: about time, about place, about condition, about reason, about manner, about purpose of an action. In short, at times they modify the whole clause. They can modify the whole clause. They give information about all these things listed here. And like an adverb will do, an adverb will modify a verb. It will modify an adjective, and it will modify another adverb. Let's say all this. I cannot go on holiday. Why? Because I don't have enough money. This is telling you the reason. The reason. And from here you can see it here. He ate as if she were starving for years. This is the expression linking the verb. How did she eat? How? Manner. Manner. Then, here, you should arrive at school. When? Before 10:30. Before 10:30. That's the telling of time. That is a cafe where we held the meeting. Where did we hold the meeting? Where did you hold the meeting? Where did you hold the meeting? The cafe is where we held the meeting. Then, unless you are too tired, condition for a walk. That's the condition for a walk. Unless you are too tired. Thank you. Then also, I will get up so early. Why? So that I will see you. These are all adjective. Sorry, these are all adverbial clauses stating the function of an adverb. Let me say this. Adverbial clauses are in types. I've mentioned that earlier. Adverb of time, of place, of cause or purpose, of contrast, of condition, of purpose, of result, and of manner. And they have their different ways of working. They have their different questions they answer. What we have here on this table. After the fruit is harvested, what happened? It is sold in the market. When is this sold in the market? When? When? This is answering when. After it is harvested. Then this is answering the question where, place. Wherever there are computers, there is Microsoft Word. There is Microsoft software. Where do you get Microsoft software? Wherever there are computers. I didn't call her. Why? Why? Because I was shy. Because I was shy. And in contrast now, in this place, two contrasting ideas are almost placed side by side. Although J has a master's degree, he works as... What happened? Although this is the adjective, so this is the adverbial clause in this context. Then, I told you now, under what condition? If you save, if, this is the condition, if. Then for purpose, why? Something's happening. It's told the computer course so that this is the adverbial, so that I'm sure you are all following me. Then result is also stated here clearly, and lastly is the manner. Is the manner. Now let's see the way an adverbial clause function, the way it functions. As soon as the man saw his wife, what happened? He ran away. This is modifying the noun run. Let me say this about adverbial clauses. When they are used, the verb is made explicit. The verb is made explicit. The verb is made explicit. Like we have here now. Jane sat. Where did Jane sit? Where did Jane sit? Where our mother had prepared for her friend. With this now, this verb is made explicit. The man was talking. How? As if she was a leader. As if, this should be he, not she. As if he was a leader. He was a leader of the group. So number 4. The man works hard. Why did the man work hard? because he has debts to offset. When you are when you owe somebody, you want to pay back. So this is modifying that. And lastly, I will go. Where will I go? Wherever you go. So adverbial clauses, like I said, modify verbs. They modify verbs. They make functions. They make verb function explicitly. They make verb function explicitly. Then to noun clause now, which is a bit more complex than others. A noun clause is a dependent clause like any other two discussed. Any other two is a dependent clause. And it plays the role of a noun. And what does a noun do? A noun will name. It will name. And your name can come as the subject, like you all know. Dele goes to market. Dele is the subject. It can come as the object. If I tell you, the school called Mr. Thomas. The school called Mr. Thomas there is a noun, which is acting as an object. Then it can also act as a complement. These details we'll go into later. If I tell you, my dad is a doctor. My dad is a doctor. The doctor there is complimenting my dad. Tell me about my dad. Then, you can see the different ways they have been used here. What Bill did. That he couldn't swim. Bill's mistake was, let me say this about your noun phrases and noun clauses. I told you that for noun phrases then, a noun phrase can be replaced by a noun or a pronoun, yes or no. Good. Also here, we can replace a noun clause with a noun or a pronoun. Here I can tell you, Dele shrugged. I'll remove this whole expression. Place a noun here. I will tell you, Dele shrugged. Shrugged his friends. Dele shrugged his friends. Or he shrugged his friends. Here also, I can tell you, Bill's friends didn't know him. A pronoun is coming to work here to replace the whole expression. Or Bill's friends didn't know Tebelua, replacing the whole expression. And here also I can tell you, Billy's mistake was him. Billy's mistake was it. Billy's mistake was eating. Billy's mistake was jumping. Mind you, jumping, eating can act as ing nouns, gerunds. We call them gerunds. Let's now see the functions as subjects. When a subject, it comes before a verb. The subject, it comes before the verb. This is subject. What you have said makes us sad comes before the verb, whichever you buy. Here, before the verb, it comes before the verb. Here, the noun clause must come before the verb. That's when it is subject. Then when it is object, it comes after the verb. After the verb. Like here now. We had miscalculated how. This is after the verb. The verb here is miscalculated. Here also, coming after the verb, whatever I do, whatever I want. Then here also coming after the verb cannot understand. Number 4, coming after the verb satisfy with what I have done. Lastly here, it's coming after the verb not looking for what he likes. Then when it is acting as complement, it is adding more information to the noun. Let me say it this way. When a noun clause acts as complement, simply put, the noun clause the same thing or same person as the subject. The noun clause is the same thing or same person as what? The subject. Look here. Harry's problem was what? That he couldn't make a decision. What is Harry's problem? What is that he couldn't make a decision? They mean the same thing. He knows that what? I am. He knows this. I'm a dentist. You can see, though coming after the object. Sorry, coming after the verb rather, but it's complementing the pronoun here. The same thing applies here. The uncertainty is what? Is what? So let's try and stick to that. Then let's see their functions now in explicit manner. The functions of noun clause in explicit manner. I told you when it is this, it comes before the verb. Before the verb. You can see the expression here. Before the verb, the expression here. This is a verb. The verb made. The verb was. The verb is. Then for OV. OV is object of the verb. Here it comes after the verb. After the verb. And it's also known as direct object. That is, we can have indirect object. When we come to that area, we'll discuss that. You can see it's coming here. This is a verb. Will wear. Understand is a verb here. The expression, the noun clause is coming after the verb. Here, will buy. Will buy is a verb. And the noun clause is coming after will buy. Let's now note all this. And number 3. For SC, I call it SC because it's a shortened form for subject complement. Here, I said the noun clause is the same person or same thing as the subject of the sentence. I want to do that. Who is Dele? That man I admire a lot. Who is Jide? The best I ever thought. Who is he? The most reliable in the class. Notice, there is always a subject complement that refers to the subject. That is, subject complements will tell you about the subject, tell you more. In short, I said the subject complement is the same thing as the subject of the sentence. And number 4 now. OC. I call this OC because it indicates object complement. Object complement. And here I can say this is the indirect object. Indirect object. Mind you, when it is direct, let's say it here, direct is definitely after the verb. Direct object after the verb. But here, indirect will come after a direct object. That is, the noun clause comes after the object. This is the object of this expression. This is the object. The object receives the action. This is the object of this expression. That but is mom. What she has been craving for. It's coming after the expression is mom. Coming after the object. That is why it is working as object complement. And also here you see Tolu as the object, and this after it, telling you that it's working as. Then here also the class is the object, and this expression is coming after it, which makes it a noun clause working as object complement. And lastly, complement of the preposition. In this case, it comes after the preposition in the sentence. The noun phrase comes after the preposition in the sentence. Most times they are called complements of preposition or prepositional complement. But simply put, I will advise you do this for exams. Anytime you say exam, just write it as complement of the preposition. And like I said, They come after what? Preposition. This preposition here, about. This preposition here, in, on. And this is the last preposition here, in. And you can see the expression after them. They come after them. That's why they are working as, functioning as complements. They are noun clauses functioning as complement of what? The preposition. Most times, I don't like discussing this because this is always mistaken for an adjectival clause. But there's one distinction between this and an adjectival clause. The distinction is that a comma is before the noun clause. You can say a comma. And that is why it is called apposition. It means two elements are opposite each other that are grammatically parallel and have same reference. So in this case, the noun clause will work as APN, which means apposition to the noun, when it comes after a comma. I think the solution, comma, the answer from the company, comma, my decision, comma. So let's try and note all these differences. In conclusion, we've gone through all functions of clauses for the day. I told you this as adjectival will qualify or modify a noun. Also, an adverbial will modify an adjective, a verb, or another adverb. And lastly, the most complicated one is the noun clause, which has these diverse functions. And I've explained them explicitly. Although I advise you go back to this study material, go through this material again, and do further readings on your own also, so you can learn more. For assessment, let's look at this for assessment. Some people, what to do for me is simple. You state their grammatical name. Let's do it. Let me give you time to work on this. State their grammatical name. Let me say anybody who can get 5 here. I'm waiting for you. I am waiting for you. I want to see who can attempt this and get 5. Are we all done? Yeah. I'll give you time to do this so that I'll allow the next teacher in. I will do the correction to this in the next class. I'll do my correction to this in the next class. For further readings, please try and contact these materials. These materials are good for you. Try and lay your hands on them, read them. They will boost your knowledge on clause analysis. For your assignment, please, this is very important. Don't do it like the assessment. That one should be done in class and submitted for the end of the day. In short, by break time. But this should be done at home. State the grammatical names and functions of the underlying expression. You state their grammatical name. I'll mark this in the next class so that I can test the knowledge of the topic and of your further research. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Enjoy a wonderful day.